Hi, I'm TJ Tollakson, professional triathlete and CEO of Dimond Bikes. And today I'm here to talk about a project that's super near and dear to my heart, and that is the Dimond Miner carbon fiber balance bike. So I got a brand new one here. I'm going to take it out of the box. We're going to go over the assembly of this so you can see what it looks like to assemble it. But it is really cool to kind of see the unboxing and what this thing looks like and how cool of a bike this is. So this is it. You unbox it. It comes in this really cool box with a handle on it, little suitcase box. I'm just going to set that down for right now. Everything comes really wrapped. It's very well protected. There's a couple pieces of tape, so I'm just going to use a pair of scissors here to cut some of this packing tape off so that I can unwrap the foam. I'm going to have a few pieces of tape on here. So there we go. That's one piece. This is the fork, steer tube, and the front wheel packaged together. You can see this is really cool. It uses female nuts on the axle end caps, so that's really cool. Smooth look on it there. We use a Kenda 12-inch tire for really good maximum performance. We're using Duro bearings in here. Low spoke count aluminum hoop rim. Carbon fork, carbon steer tube, 1.1/8" steer tube. Works well with the molds that we have for the other bikes. This piece is also pretty cool. This is the integrated bar stem. So while it's nothing of an engineering feat like the Red Crown Raven bar stem, it is still impressive. So we're gonna unwrap this. And this is aluminum, and it's one piece, bar and stem. It's got cool little diamond logo handle grips on it. But we do make different colors, so you can't customize the grips on there as well. Second piece I'll do here, third piece here I'll do is saddle. So this is an integrated saddle seat post. It's got the mark on the back for the minimum insertion point. Last piece, last but certainly not least, is the majority of the bike in the frame. So this is a special sneak peek at Dimond Miner version 2.0. Some nice upgrades on this frame. So we'll get to that as soon as I cut this off, and I can hardly wait to show you what this looks like because it is really, really rad. So I'm going to set all that packing foam down. Here's the frame of the bike. So you can see the seat post runs all the way through the frame. So if you need to go super low, you can crush that down and it pops out the bottom of the frame. So you can see that hole in the bottom, which is really cool. But the big add to this, okay, so we took away a little material, made this even skinnier down tube on it, but we added these footrests right here so kids can actually stand up and do some really cool tricks on their bikes. We just made it nice and flat for the kids to be able to put their feet and stand up on. So took a little bit out of the weight as well, shortened that head tube, minimize the standover height. Really cool looking bike right here. So I'm going to put this together, and I'm just going to start here. I'm going to drop the saddle in here so I can get rid of that piece. I'm going to stick that in there. I'm going to tighten my quick release. Got a nice aluminum alloy. Quick release clamp there. Now onto here. This uses a regular headset. This is no sleeve bearing or anything. This is an integrated headset. So, compression plug, a full set of spacers, a top cap, and then 2 bearings. So the bottom bearing goes in just like this. Integrated headset again. Top bearing. Angles on the bearing go down into the headset, okay? So the angled edge goes down in. Angled edges face the center, so it goes up on this one, down on this one. has a bearing race right here. Keep that aligned. Press that in. And then it has last top piece is this headset top cap. Okay, we'll get that pressed down nice and tight. Now I'm going to show you how to do this in the full stack position. I'm going to put all these spacers under the stem. You can cut the steer tube like you do any other bike. I'm not going to cut it right now. I'm just going to install that. Show you how this thing goes on here. So this has a nice rubber protector over the top of the stem clamp, and that's just to make sure that you're not letting your kids slam into anything overly dangerous. It's a nice little added layer of protection, but of course you can strip the whole thing off. That's not a problem either. You can see it just slides on over the stem for added protection. But once I loosen that up, push the stem plate, stem handlebar on there, and you can see I'm a few spacers short here on the top, so I'm gonna have to go grab some more spacers so I can get it a little taller. But this, like I said, this can also, the steer tube can also be cut to the exact size that you need that. So if you want to be all the way down, we encourage people to leave all these spacers on here and just put the stem on the bottom. So the way you would do that is you can remove these pieces and put the stem at any one of these locations that you want. So if you wanted to slam this stem for a really little kid, you could put all the spacers on the top. So this plastic cover is not going to work real well if you do that, but the bike will still work. So you don't have to cut the steer tube. So as your child grows, they can keep using the bike. So I can slam the stem all the way down here, and I have this big stem that comes up. And again, I have a choice of cutting that off, or I can just add the spacers to the top as well. All right, so we include enough spacers with the bike so that you can max this thing out. One of the cool features of this bar is that it's you can flip it, right? So if you want to go into an angled down stem, you can. If you want the angled up stem, which again, we're trying to get the highest possible position right now. I'm going to go ahead and angle that up. Then I'm going to take at least one spacer on the top. Should be good. You'd like to always have one spacer on the top of the bike so I have something to make sure that I'm compressing down with. I'm just going to back this off a little bit. So this is a compression plug. These are the integral pieces to the part, okay? These two pieces go together. This slides on. This bolt on the bottom. So as I tighten this down, what should happen is this will expand to provide outward pressure against the carbon, where I'm going to then clamp the stem. So I'm going to tighten this guy. Need a little more tension before I can do that. So this is going to be the piece where we set the depth and the outward compression, and then this piece will go in the top to actually compress against the bearings. So the first thing I want to do is actually set this in. And this uses a slightly larger Allen wrench. So this is a 6mm for the one on the inside. And again, all we're doing with this first piece, when I tighten this, all I'm doing is putting outward compression against that. So I pull this out. As I thread down into here, my goal again should be to make this expand so it presses out against the steer tube. Got a long ways to go, that's why I pull that out. Back it off, there we go. So I'm going to tighten this. And now that I have that tight, it has a slight lip on it here, okay? And so the headset's definitely not tight still. So what I want to do is make sure I have a spacer over the top of this so I can compress down on it. And this uses the 5mm screw. So I want to come down with this. And this is a headset bearing, so all I'm trying to do is engage the bearings. I don't want to compress the bearings where it can't move very tight, right? So I still want this to swing freely. So it just needs a light amount of torque to do that. And once this is tight, then I can tighten these side bolts here. And I can make sure that that's straight when I do that. So come to the side of the bike, hold the wheel between my legs, turn it so the handlebar's straight. And I'll tighten both of these. And I'll tighten the bottom one first. That's pretty quick and simple. It's got a little rubber grommet for the top bolt on the headset cap. Pretty straightforward. Cover over the top. Provide that extra protection. There you go. We got a balanced bike ready to go. It comes with some air in the tires, but you want to make sure you really pump those up before you use them. And you can just take a look at those bearings in there and see how that wheel spins. That's the type of performance that you're used to with the Dimond. That's the type of performance you get with this Dimond Miner. So I can see now my headset's tight. You can bounce it up and down and it doesn't move. Move it side to side. I have really good movement. It's loose, so it will tip a little bit to the side both ways. It does turn all the way around, which is cool. Since I don't have any brakes, it's a cool way to do that. So that's it, that's the Dimond Miner. You can get kids on this down as young as 18 months old and up to about 6 years of age. My 6-year-old will still ride this thing and really tool around and rip around things because it is one fast, super light bike. It weighs almost nothing.